Jeez, I don't know if it's like the age too long affected my perception, but it tastes way different.
Hey guys, this is James.
And this is Denny from TeaDB, bringing you episode 239.
Yes.
And today we have some young, I guess this is technically wild puer from raw puer from Essence of Tea.
Yep.
And I had this at my place and I really enjoyed it and thought, hey, let's bring this on the show. So we're just gonna use the rest of this.
And one way that TeaDB brings on stuff is we get a bunch of packages, and then oftentimes I will give a good majority of them to Denny actually, but very rarely does stuff come back. So if something comes back from Denny, that means it's probably pretty good.
I think this is pretty tasty.
So
I found it to be like noticeably yummy. That doesn't mean that that's mostly because I don't have the opportunity. I just don't. There's too much. I know some of the people out there.
And it's got to stick out. Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of the paradox of choice going on a little bit. I end up just getting overwhelmed and then drinking my Shagwan too.
Wow, look at that. That's dark, and it looks like we got some green leaf, and I'm stoned here. I'll let you put that out. Stone all.
Yum. Actually, this is probably too much for just one here. But this breaks apart really quite nicely. It's very loosely packed. And that's two. I'm gonna do one more chunk from here. YOLO. This stuff is quite kind, and I'm excited to hear what James thinks about it, or I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Denny was telling me before the show that this is not the super rough, aggressive raw pour.
No.
So pretty sweet overall.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be one of those teas that will be a mom tea.
A mom raw pour.
That is
a true unicorn.
Yeah. So get in there and give it a sniff. And this will be a rinse, but then we'll drink the next one.
That is really aromatic. Smells very sweet.
Yeah, this tea isn't just sweet, which is, I think, beautiful. It's got a lot going on beyond just being pretty dang pleasant to drink straight from the get-go.
Yeah, this could just be an aroma emitter or something like that.
Yeah, right. So, flash steepings, and we'll see how long we go with this tea, but when I brewed it at home, maybe brewed it a little bit lighter than this, but it went for quite some time. So,
okay.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. I'll cool this down. Out the gate, it has like a really velvety texture already. Sort of not too viscous, but I'd say leaning more towards the thick side than the light. I think it has a lot of like white tea floral notes.
I totally agree. I think that's spot on.
They kind of just like blend into that rawness a little bit.
Yeah. Texture and mouthfeel, it reminds me a bit of white tea too. It has like this velvety sort of thing going on.
Yeah. Still has those raw puer flavors in there for sure.
And we'd expect those to probably grow, I'm guessing, in the next couple steeps.
Yeah, although this is one of those teas that is surprisingly tame considering how young it is.
Not too bitter at all, I gotta say, on that first steep. We'll see. I mean, sometimes these teas will build a little bit in their bitterness.
Yeah. And a pretty like kind of pale yellow liqueur. Yeah. And there's a lot of variety of color for the actual leaves themselves.
There really is.
Yeah, this is a wild picked tea, so there's going to be more variance just naturally as a result.
So do you think does this strike you as pretty different from your, like, let's say, just Iwu raw pour?
I think it kind of fits sort of in that category of sort of those sweet, raw, young raws. But some of those a little bit more saccharine. I think this is a little bit more floral. Maybe it tastes a little bit more of like a white tea sweetness instead of like maybe a little bit more like a. There isn't that much like berries or roast in it necessarily, but I think it's pretty. It's comparable, more so than I don't know, some of those young factory teas that just need 15 years period. So, but yeah, let's keep drinking.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. He's really developing his body now and some of the strength, but
It's almost like sugar cane.
it's so sweet, right?
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of the rawness towards the finish of it, but it's still on the sweet end for sure.
Yeah. Really floral. The sort of strength and potency of the Ropware, it sort of shows itself in the sort of residual taste that you're going to experience on this tea. It's going to keep feeling the flavors of it after you finish your cup. And we'll see how this brews out. We'll try to brew it out a few more times, at least, to see the sort of evolution of the strength of this tea. But when I brewed it at home, I didn't feel like it really exploded in terms of its potency at any point. It didn't really get particularly bitter. I think that your mileage will vary depending on how much leaf you use.
Right.
But I found this to be like a pretty kind tea in that.
And we're brewing at a boil, correct? Or just off a boil.
Yeah, more or less.
So it's not like we are taking it easy on the temperature department.
Right. You can push this a little bit in a few steeps if you want to.
Cheers.
It maintains the sweetness, but it still has those Ropware flavors going on. I love the balance in this tea. Maybe a little kind of like whisper of some sort of like lemon peel kind of stuff going on, just a little bit.
It's a little more of that grassy vegetalness into this tea. Not in a bad way, just a bit more, I guess, savory tones to it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think this tea definitely passes the mom test. Of the Ropware you're going to get that's young, this is one of those teas that I think most people are going to be like, oh, this is interesting.
At the bare minimum, they will like how it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sweet enough that someone would ask, does this have sugar added to it, literally? It really does pack a lot of sweetness. Maybe it's just a second longer than we have been for our steeps. And then I'll reboil the water for our next steeping.
And so I guess, so mom test does pretty well. How about the aging prospects? What would you say?
I don't know. I don't think it might last the test of time. It seems like there's not anything that the aging is going to heighten or calm down. Aging, at least from the teas that we've had on the show, and I'm just a noob when it comes to this stuff still, but it seems to sort of quiet down some of those intense flavors.
Yeah.
And because these flavors are sort of soft and palatable right out the gate,
Right.
I'm not sure that aging would benefit this tea very much.
Yeah. So I think that's well said. I mean, I
Who
think
knows?
we're both taking educated guesses at
course.
best of these things, but some of those soft, floral, grassy tones, I think you would expect them to darken up and maybe disappear from the tea. So
Yeah.
not a for sure thing on aging. Not that we know for sure or anything.
Right.
But yeah.
This is the fourth steeping, I think?
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers. I love the warmth of this tea. It just feels comforting, easy to drink. There's not too much movement between steepings.
Yeah.
We're gonna push this next one and see if we get into some more bitter and intense flavors. It's definitely it's a solid, interesting, sweet and delicious young Ropware.
Yep.
So
Slight bit of astringency in this one. Yeah, but mainly just trucking on, still like 80% sweet, I would say.
and I finished the session with this and then threw it in a vessel just to hang out overnight, and it was too strong. the next day and I tossed it. It was too bitter. So I think that you could push this for a lot longer than you'd think. Yeah, you could also ice well, depending.
Yeah, and right now my mouth, it has just like a lot of sweetness in it, a lot of mouth-watering sweetness from the tea, so nice, enjoyable aftertaste.
And yeah, well, in terms of the consistency of the flavor profile, James, is there anything to note there you're noticing?
Seems pretty consistent, actually.
Yeah.
Not super changing, not super dynamic. Some of these raw pours can really change steep to steep. This one, not quite so much. I would say that a big difference between this and Iwu teas is with the leaf. If you look at this, it looks very different. As we've noted, even from looking at just the dry leaf, this does not look like your standard raw pour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's darker. There's a little bit more colored pieces in it. I'm not even sure the right way to describe those, but
They just look kind of more oxidized, basically.
Yeah.
More or less. And it's not clear. I don't know if we know what the source material came from, what year, if it was pressed in 2017, or if it actually was the.
I think it is pressed in 2017 and from 2017 material from Wuliang. Could be wrong. I don't know. I'm sure it says on the website.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. For the steeping.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. So we reboiled the water, let it go for basically a flash steeping, and then I poured high to cool it down. I think it's maintaining its potency. Not too much movement still.
A little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Maybe a little richer notes. A little bit less sweet, but I mean it's not dissimilar from the previous teas.
I think it does have a little bit more of that earthiness going on. A bit more of that sort of peatiness. Maybe a little bit more of a drying mouth feel.
Right.
So this tea can I think go and go and go for quite a few steepings. We might let it stay here for now.
Yeah.
But this is definitely one of those teas that if you're just getting into raw pu'er, it's going to be an interesting side of raw pu'er, young raw pu'er specifically. Sweet, mellow, relatively, got a great body, just overall pretty delicious.
Yeah, and not all young raw pours are like this at all. So if you are getting new to tea, don't have this and pretend like it's like the only example of young pour. If anything, this is kind of an oddity.
I agree. Yeah.
But
an interesting thing maybe to sort of broaden your horizons of the younger raws out there.
Especially one that, might be a little bit uncertain on the aging prospects. Right. So, yeah.
Check it out. If you guys like this, you might like Iwu teas in general. Some of those raw, young raws coming out of the Iwu region as well. Shout out to Essence of Tea for hooking us up with this sample, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Really delicious. I've been trying to get through all of the samples. Appreciate everyone for sending in samples and as well following along on our tea journey. So for folks who want to learn more about Essence of Tea, James?
Yeah, you should go check them out. Google Essence of Tea. They are one of the producers that goes to Yunnan annually. I think they may actually go twice annually. So for spring and autumn harvest, they're pressing tea. They're pressing tea like this. They're pressing other teas such as the Iwu tea that we brought on a couple months ago. And they also have some older teas, and I know they also have a warehouse in Malaysia, so they are storing teas out there.
Yeah.
So they are serious about tea. They've been at it for quite some time, so check them out if you haven't already. Any last words?
If you want to check us out, check us out on TeaDB.org. That is the email address as well, teadborg@gmail.com. If you want to get in touch with us, have us bring some of your teas onto the show. No promises, but we'll try. Follow us on all the relevant things. Blip Black Bloom. Pass the mom test, so text your mom about this episode.
Order this for Mother's Day. It's like half a year away.
I'm not button.
Yeah.
If you like the video, like the damn video, subscribe if you haven't yet for more videos like this if you want to torture yourself endlessly. And we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.